Oh, there it goes. And what's going on, replay viewers? Where's the graphic? Here's the graphic. Why, hello, replay viewers. Let's see who tunes on in. I see Walks in Camera, first one in the room, and Robinson Lopes, welcome. Good to see you. NYC girl and Fairy Mary, welcome. Good to see you, Robin and RJ up there in Colorado. And good to see you, Michelle King and Lee, welcome. Good to see you, Quacky Snacks. Waha, good to see you there. Oleg, Whispers in the... It's nighttime now. Yeah, it's nighttime. Good to see you, E-Bike Mike. Carlos, welcome. Good to see everybody, people. Welcome to one of my favorite things in all of New York City to show you guys. The panorama of New York City here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. The panorama that is not paranormal. Good to see everybody. Good to see you, Darlene. Hope you're doing well. Look at the low light on the new camera. Ooh, it really picks it up nice and wide angle. Good to see you, Jay Chulo. Welcome. Whispers in the panorama room. Good to see you, Wilbs driving that Northern Line. Welcome. Good to see you. Look at it. Ooh, look at that. I'm telling you, the low light on the camera is so good now. Look at this. Unbelievable. The world's largest architectural scale model. All right, you guys want to hear the official audio, or should we just wait for more people to tune in? What do you guys want to do? This will be a low-rated live stream because the stuff we're showing here is too entertaining. Anthony Costello, welcome. This is a scale model of the entire city of New York. The panorama of New York City. We are located right there. We are right there next to the Unisphere here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Earlier today, we were up here at Willets Point. So we did a little bit of exploring today. Good to see you, Julie B.O.G. Chrissy C., welcome. This is my favorite thing in the whole city to look at. I still feel the same way as I did. I was 11 years old the first time I ever came in here. And I still feel the same way today. And it kind of drives me crazy that I literally traveled from one end of the map. I traveled from Seagate. Oh, can't do it. Seagate in Coney Island, which is way up there. I traveled from Seagate in Coney Island all the way over across the map to Flushing Meadows. Joseph Messina, good to see you. Jerry, this is cool. This is cool, Jerry. Good to see you. You guys want to hear the official audio from the ride? Let me know, because I do have it ready to go if you guys want to hear it. And I'll be quiet and I'll let you guys just hear the audio from the 1964 World's Fair. Lowell Thomas. So here we go, everyone. I'm going to be quiet for the next... This is a long... By the way, this is a very long presentation. This is almost a 14-minute presentation. So you're going to hear a 14-minute presentation about the map and everything that's going to be happening on the map. Well, kind of happening on the map. It doesn't really happen anymore. But good to see you, Kaz. Good to see everybody. If you ever rode this, to give you guys a bit of context, this ramp here, this would have been the beginning of the ride, and then you would have been in a model helicopter. This is a model helicopter ride simulating a 10,000-foot flight. So you start off nice and low, and then you begin gradually getting higher and higher. The ride went around this ramp here, right here to where I'm standing, and then the ride concluded up in this area here. This is where you left the model. So look at that, 20 people tuned in, tuned out. That's awesome. Good to see you, Yulia. Welcome. Good to see everybody. So here it is, everyone. We are gonna do we're gonna recreate a little bit of the panorama experience from the 1964-65 World's Fair. Here is the great, definitely a live stream inspiration of mine for how he talks and everything. You'll be hearing in a moment the voice of Lowell Thomas, the voice of the panorama. Here we go, everybody.
The city of opportunity and of greatness, New York. More than 800,000 buildings, millions of stories, bold and eloquent poems in concrete, glass, steel, Soaring, stretching bridges and towers, reaching beyond expectation to record for all time the energy, thought, and hope of man. Look at this map and you locate the human race. This is as far as we've gone. A quick snapshot of our progress on Earth. By tomorrow, it will have changed. Far more than stone and glass, this turbulent city capital of the 20th century is energy. The cumulative force of 8 million people who daily inhabit its towers, walk, ride, and play in its streets, and give this city its meaning. A surging metropolis of 8 million masters with one incredible servant, the municipal government of the city of New York, whose annual budget is larger than any of the 50 states, larger than most of the United Nations, whose capital is also here. How do you protect 8 million people, prevent contagious disease, educate 1 million children, serve 1 million aged, take care of the needy, provide job opportunity, leisure time opportunity, a good life for all? An alarm in the night. From almost 300 fire stations, the red lights flashing below. Engines instantly on their way. One of 1,000 fires a week, mainly in crowded districts where many people live. New York, $35 billion worth of buildings, 8 million lives, in the hands of 12,000 dedicated officers and men. The fire department, largest in the world, working closely with the police, traffic, the courts, and correction to make New York a safe place to live. 90% of all fires are preventable, and 95% of its firemen teach prevention door to door, in the hospitals, on the beaches with a sound truck, and in the schools. 600 elementary schools, the blue lights flashing below. 250 junior and senior high schools, the yellow lights. 1.25 million students, and all deserve the finest education our town can provide. The 3 R's are still basic, but students are also trained to think and make judgments, to get along with others, to have high moral and spiritual values. Today, the Board of Education faces difficult problems, integrating children of different races. The teenager who drops out of school just when he needs more education to get a skilled job. But through the patience and hard work of their 50,000 teachers, the city's children daily receive a better understanding of their world and of themselves to make the best use of their own abilities. 850 public schools, 11 city colleges, dozens of museums, over 200 libraries, the city's own radio and TV stations. All these together make New York one of the great centers of free public education for kindergarten kid or senior citizen. Educational opportunity for all. Every 3 minutes, another baby is born. 165,000 every year. But even before arriving, the new baby is a client of the Department of Health, the green lights flashing below. Maternity care, birth, infancy, nourishment to maturity, adulthood, old age. A lifetime of well-being for 8 million people. This is the challenge and incredible achievement of the Department of Health. What does it take? In its laboratories and clinics, minute-by-minute vigilance. Examine and analyze the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water and milk we drink, the drugs we consume, the cosmetics we apply, the houses we live in, the waters of our beaches. Through 22 community health centers and its own research council and institute, the Department of Health stands guard together with the Departments of Sanitation, Hospitals, and Public Works, and tries to solve this problem. Take a lifetime of well-being and multiply by 8 million. The answer? New York, the healthiest city of its size in the history of mankind. The social welfare investigator, one of the most difficult jobs in modern society. Daily running the gamut of human want, inadequacy, suffering, need. The Department of Welfare, the blue lights below. It's the largest single social welfare agency of its kind. It provides the necessities of life to those people of the city who can't provide for themselves. Almost 60% of those receiving public aid are children under 18. Tragic aftermath of broken homes and unwed mothers. And 20% more of those being helped are the aged poor. Welfare's aim is to strengthen family life, protect the children, and to restore as many as possible from dependency to self-support, helping each person realize his own potential. This is the commitment of a city to human worth and dignity, to the welfare of all. Marionettes, the Park Department's very own, presented free to all the children of the city. A simple way to introduce theater to awakening minds. And in 300 wading pools, on 11,000 swings, 3,000 seesaws, in more than 850 playgrounds, the white lights below. Every kind of game to strengthen young bodies, to get lively girls and boys to play according to the rules. Free concerts in the park. More than 300 each year make leisure time more rewarding for older folks too. And they get quite a kick out of seeing Shakespeare again, superbly produced in the park, free. The dances, entertainment, big bands, but most of all, our senior citizens appreciate the Golden Age Centers. Here they find new friends, learn new skills, try arts and crafts, or just enjoy small talk with a smiling companion, instead of the loneliness and the erosion of old age. A new way of life. Through its Department of Parks, the city serves young and old alike, just as they serve the city. This, then, is New York. Far more than steel and concrete, the buildings and streets you see below are lines of force, paths of energy, the restless energy of 8 million people today and millions earlier, who together created and are creating this city. Here stretched before you is the cumulative effort of 300 years. 300 years of hope and daring of people of every nation, color, and creed, welcomed by one place of opportunity to live and work together to make their private dreams come true. Here is the mark of our time, man's proudest achievement. Welcome to the city of New York.
And I think that's it. Yes, that is it. Okay, so it's only 8 minutes long. Only 8 minutes long. But there you go. There was the audio from the ride. And what's cool is that, good to see you, John Laura. Good to see everybody. What's really cool about this model now is that we have these iPads here, and they show you incredible detail of the model here, and you can learn more about the model. But this is considered a New York City landmark. So this is always going to be here. There are updates to really kind of update the model, but they haven't really agreed upon how they're going to update the model. There has been some revisions to the model. Brooklyn Bridge Park is on the model. Citi Field, the new Yankee Stadium are on the model. But some glaring big developments are not on the model. Like all the buildings, all the new towers along Billionaires Row, the Hudson Yards development, Atlantic Yards at that, the Brooklyn Tower, not on the model. And Natalie with a $2 super chat. Natalie, thank you so much for the very generous $2 super chat. Thanks for joining today's $2 club. Much, much, much appreciated. With a big $2 super chat. I will get a coffee and donut. Thank you so much. Right now, it's a kind of a mix between the old and the new, and it is very much like a time capsule. But thank you so much, Natalie, with a big super chat. We're going back into nighttime now. We're directly over the Statue of Liberty is right there. So we're going to see this now go back into nighttime mode here. Let's go to the 1X lens. 1X lens has some really nice low light capability as the model gets darker now. We're over Lower Manhattan. The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center are here on the model. And then our three most popular bridges We have the Brooklyn, the Manhattan, and the Williamsburg bridges right there. Queensboro Bridge is further up, which is way up there. And I'll show you guys my favorite part of the model, the little plane taking off and landing at LaGuardia. We're just going to stare at this now for the next 50 minutes as it now gets dark here on the model. Good to see you, Travis Weeks. Welcome. Up there in South Africa. You know what's funny is it looks brighter on my phone screen than in real life right now. Look, as we're flying over Manhattan at night. The green square in the middle of the screen is Washington Square Park. That's Washington Square Park. And then just above it, so this is Washington Square Park. This is Tompkins Square Park, Union Square Park, Madison Square Park, and then Gramercy Park is right here. Now it's nighttime. We're getting the moonlight on the model now. The moonlight's really getting strong on the model as we begin to make our way up a little bit more here. We have, where's Bryant Park? Bryant Park is amongst the buildings. That's Bryant Park right there. And then, of course, everyone's favorite, Central Park, coming into view. Yesterday's live stream started out right up here. Then we went down to Four Freedoms Park. We came up the east side of Roosevelt Island. And look at this. No buildings are there. There's no development there. We come right across, walk a little bit more, then we take the tram over. Then we walked over to the park, went to the art gallery, went over to the park, kind of did this area of the park. We went kind of like this. Or actually, we kind of went like this. Kind of did that. And then we went out on 6th Avenue. We took 6th Avenue down to Rockefeller Center yesterday. But to think today, I took the subway from way down there at Seagate and went all the way up to Flushing Meadows Park, which is right up there. Jay, I could always stare at this thing, and I never get bored of it. I really never get bored of this thing. Here's a George Washington Bridge right here. This is George Washington Bridge here. And then for all you Yankees fans, here is Yankee Stadium. There is Yankee Stadium. And that is the new Yankee Stadium right there. It is on the model. So some people have contributed their new buildings to the model. This is Inwood in Manhattan, where the Cloisters is, a great museum. And then this is all the Bronx right here. This is the Harlem River that takes you into the East River, Long Island Sound, right up there. Good to see you, J-Air Explorers. Welcome. Where is McCarran Park? I'll show you. Let's go to McCarran Park. We will get to McCarran Park via the Williamsburg Bridge, okay? So let's zoom in close now, and I'll show you McCarran Park. Now, there's only one person in here. It's great. So this is the Williamsburg Bridge, okay? We get to the Williamsburg Bridge, and now we go into Williamsburg. Now, if I was going to go to McCarran Park, I would go north because McCarran Park's kind of almost where Greenpoint is. So we go a little bit north, and then right there, that is McCarran Park. That is McCarran Park, where you even see the McCarran Park pool. The model is there, and look what's still on the model. Look what's still on the model. The Greenpoint tanks are still on the model. You got the Greenpoint tanks, and then there's that little park off to the side. I want to say that's Coffee Park. Coffey. Just to the left-hand side of McCarran. And you can see how the Williamsburg waterfront There's nothing there. There's literally nothing there, just warehouses. Now that's all those buildings, all those new apartment buildings line the coast. And then up here, this is Greenpoint right there. Greenpoint, the Newtown Creek takes you in, Pulaski and the Kosciuszko bridges, and then deep into Queens, Bushwick, all off in this direction here. But the Greenpoint tanks are still on the model. I actually was there for the implosion of the Greenpoint tanks. But just below it, that's McCarran Park right there. You can see how close McCarran Park actually is to the Brooklyn Queens Expressway. It's literally right there. But you're looking at Williamsburg a little bit. Williamsburg is mostly towards the bottom of the screen, center of the screen, and then to the left side of the screen is Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Let's see, do we have any more requests? This is what we're going to do today. It is like traveling back in time, especially with the Twin Towers. I always say, if you never seen the Twin Towers, you want to come here and see them on the model, because it really gives you an idea of how much they dominated the skyline. Are the Greenpoint tanks in Maspeth? I think they are in Maspeth. That's Queens. So Queens is just on the other side. So this is Queens, Newtown Creek, and then this from here on is Brooklyn, and then from here on is Queens. Want to see Shore Road flow? Shore Road's way down here. So this is Bay Ridge. Again, this is Brooklyn. Bay Ridge, Sunset Park, Park Slope, Prospect Park, Greenwood Cemetery, and then this Shore Road goes like this. Goes all the way around. It follows the route of the BQE. But of course, Bay Ridge, that's the Shore Road everybody knows. Good to see you, Lorraine. Welcome. Michelle, I love showing this thing, believe me. But this is Bay Ridge, Verrazano Narrows Bridge. The entrance to New York Harbor is right there. And then, of course, this is Staten Island. Right, that's right. It's the belt, not the BQE. Sorry. I stand corrected, Neil. Yeah, Shore Road follows the belt. Maybe Oleg. I do have a full version of Google Earth on my computer, so I could maybe do that on a rainy day. We're directly above the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. So for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So the Statue of Liberty is about 3 inches tall. More than welcome, Flo, and more than welcome, Lisa UK girl. Welcome. This is Ellis Island. And then we come right across to Governor's Island. And then Red Hook. Red Hook, Brooklyn is right here with the Gowanus Expressway and the Gowanus Canal. You can actually see the F train viaduct for the subway there coming out of the ground and then going back into the ground. This was produced in 1963 for the 1964-65 World's Fair. It took about 4 months to fabricate. Over 300 people built this using basically fire insurance maps to get a general kind of generalization of building shapes and lot shapes. Final sign off for each panel. There's over 300 panels here on the model, because each panel could be taken out and repaired, or for lights and stuff like that. Each panel was personally approved by Robert Moses himself for the first iteration of the model. The model was then slowly updated through the 70s, and then it got a complete update in 1992, and that was the final update of the whole model was in 1992. But since 1992, especially since 3D printing has gotten so popular, developers and other developers and architects have been given the opportunity to add their new buildings to the model. So, of course, we do have some pretty notable updates to the map, like Citi Field, the new Yankee Stadium, and then right here in view, we see Brooklyn Bridge Park. As you see, Brooklyn Bridge Park done completely up. I want to ride the helicopter too, Jim. Oh, yeah, Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Look at the entrance of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. That's so cool. I will, Kaz. I absolutely will. Industry City, which was built right around World War I, is prominently on the map here. But as you see, all the piers are basically just completely flat. There is a bit of a recycling plant in this area that I'm showing you right now. And then Sunset Park, the actual park, is that green box right out there, that green rectangle kind of shape right there. That is Sunset Park. And then just off to the left-hand side, this is Greenwood Cemetery. Greenwood Cemetery with the BMT subway rail yard right here. So unfortunately, Marianne, good to see you. Hudson Yards is not on the map. Again, Hudson Yards is not on the map because nobody's done an official kind of update of the whole map. But this is Hudson Yards right here below me. 34th Street, Hudson River. The Jacob Javits Convention Center is here, but not Hudson Yards. As you see, they have only developed the first part of Hudson Yards development, so where the tracks all splay out. That's where the edge is. That's where the vessel and shed are. But if you look closely, you can see the High Line. You can see we're gonna follow the High Line all the way down to Gansevoort Street. Look, can you see the High Line? It's right there. And then it concludes right there at Gansevoort Street. And as you see, they got all the old piers. And you see me down there? Yeah, you're more than welcome, Maria. The Intrepid is actually here. Yeah, Intrepid's on the model. Here we go. There is the Intrepid right there. The Intrepid, the Growler, and I forgot the other name of the ship. Oh, it is nighttime once again. So now we're gonna transition into night. Yeah, Intrepid's been here since 1982. That's why it's on the model. 1992 was the entire model update. Stay over Lower Manhattan here. It's pretty exciting over Lower Manhattan as it gets dark here in the model. This is still the world's largest architectural scale model with over 860,000 buildings. If anything's taller than about 50 feet, it's probably on the, or if anything's taller than 100 feet, it is on the model. Again, for every 1 inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. When we get over Coney Island, I really can't wait to see the zoom, because I really want to zoom in and show you guys the parachute jump, the amusement district. City Hall Park is that green triangle, kind of just above and to the left of the Twin Towers, and then to the right-hand side is Battery Park. And you got, let's go up the East River, Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge. And as we go up the East River, the moon is coming out on the model. And then the Queensboro Bridge. I tell you, the low light on the camera is pretty amazing. It's pretty impressive. Now again, this simulates, if we were in a helicopter, we would be roughly at about 10,000 feet. And when the helicopter ride, that's when you left the model. So the high point of the ramp here, you're technically at 10,000 feet above the city. All right, the lights are coming back on. So let's fly over Staten Island. Yeah. When I first saw this, I was 11 years old and I was obsessed with micro machines. So, of course, when I first came in here, that's all I thought about was playing with my micro machines on the model. Good to see you, Xavier. Flo, I'm glad you're joining us. As you see by the low viewer number, people don't find this interesting. So I really do appreciate everyone who has joined us. And let's get to at least 100 likes. Everyone rather have just endless walking in Midtown. It's cool if that's all you care for, but I find this infinitely more exciting. But now we are above Coney Island. I live right here. So this is where I came from. I came from here. I took the bus over to Stillwell Avenue, and then I made my way up the N train all the way up through Manhattan. Then I hopped on the 7 train at Queensboro Plaza, and then took it all the way across Queens to Flushing Meadows. But let's zoom in on the amusement district here in Coney Island. This is the amusement district right here. And Marianne Rose with a $5 super chat. Marianne, thank you so much for the very generous $5 super chat. Thanks for joining today's $5 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Marianne. Karen, I have been here now for about 45 minutes. I could stay here for hours. And I plan on being in here for the next at least another 40 minutes, maybe 20 more minutes, half hour. We're gonna spend an entire hour in this room here. Now, this room, before we get into the detail of the model again, this room is a very historic room. This room, this is where the UN General Assembly used to meet before they built their permanent headquarters on the east side of Manhattan at the UN General Assembly building on 42nd Street and 1st Avenue. In this room, UNICEF was born. Also, the partition of Israel was created in this very room. So it's pretty historic in here. And Jack with a $4 super chat. Jack, thank you so much for the very generous $4 super sticker. Thank you so much for joining today's $4 super sticker club. Much, much, much appreciated. With a big $4 super chat. And Jack, I'm sorry you didn't trigger the Chaos Emeralds. For some reason, super stickers do not trigger Chaos Emeralds. But thank you so much for your support with a big $4 super chat. But so much modern history has been written in here. It's kind of crazy. We'll do the big thank you at the end of the show, obviously. But Jack, I wish you could release Chaos Emeralds with super stickers. I don't know why it doesn't work. But thank you so much, Jack, for your support. But now let's zoom in right here. Let's zoom in into Coney Island and the amusement district. So we have there in the center of the screen the Luna Park houses and the Stillwell Avenue terminal. This is a home terminal station for the F, the D, the N, and the Q trains. As we go just to the south, you could see it. There's the Cyclone. So the Cyclone is just off to the, you got the subway station right there with the footbridge that doesn't exist anymore. And then you got the little Luna Park there, the little cluster of rides. If you look very closely, the Wonder Wheel is there. The Wonder Wheel is a flat, clear plastic disc. If you look very closely, the Wonder Wheel is there. But even more incredible, the original Thunderbolt is still there. Look at very closely. You got the Thunderbolt there, a little wire of a roller coaster. And then you have a big empty green lot. That is where Maimonides Park is. That's where the Cyclones play. And you can see the shadow more of the structure than itself. But there is the parachute jump right there. The parachute jump is made out of clear, translucent plastic. It's right there. And then right next door to it, you have the Abe Stark skating rink. That's very specific. Okay, so East 6th Street and Avenue C, that's way up here. I don't know exactly where East 6th Street, we could find it on the map, but I gotta go all the way back. It's over there. That's Lower East Side, right up there. That's all the way up there. That's all the way up there. That's Lower East Side. That's the whole Lower East Side area right there. You see Empire State Building, Chrysler Building. Really see the whole skyline. Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, downtown Brooklyn, Brooklyn Heights, Burham Hill, Cobble Hill, Carroll Gardens. It's near Tompkins Square. That's right. It is near. We were looking at Tompkins Square just before, Cynthia. We'll make our way back there. We'll make our way back to that side of the model. And again, look at how you can see the Gowanus Expressway here next to Industry City. You could really see it pop up above the buildings here. This is Sunset Park. The scale is meticulous, RJ. Again, Robert Moses had final say on every single panel that you see here. And from what I've read in the book now, the people who fabricated this were quite terrified that he would reject a panel. This is Breezy Point, Roxbury. This is Fort Tilden, Reese Park, Neponset, and Bell Harbor. Hello there, Cotton Candy. Welcome. Floyd Bennett Field, Jamaica Bay. Right up here, this is Canarsie, Starrett City, right next door to that. Howard Beach, the JFK Airport, Idlewild Airport, JFK Airport. This is Sheepshead Bay, again, Coney Island, Seagate, Gravesend Bay. This is the harbor right up here. Marianne, you lived in Broad Channel, Marianne? Here's Broad Channel, everyone, right here. I would give, Marianne, I got to do a live stream in Broad Channel. Broad Channel is a neighborhood that the city forgot. It's literally in the middle of Jamaica Bay. It's like an old fishing town. Look at that. And basically going right up the spine of it, Cross Bay Boulevard. But then you see that little right-of-way off to the right-hand side. That is the A train right there. Yeah, I gotta go there, Marianne. I gotta go there. I gotta go there. I gotta take the audience to Broad Channel one of these days. We are definitely due a trip there, and I definitely want to ride the train on the live stream across Jamaica Bay there, but that's an incredible subway ride. We're now pretty much right across Jamaica Bay from Canarsie here. Canarsie, Mill Basin, Bergen Beach in this area right here. This is Marine Park right there. Prospect Park right up there. Downtown Brooklyn, Brooklyn Heights. I should get a pencil for all this, right, guys? Because I got to really do a lot of pointing here. I should get my pencil out. I have a pen in my bag. The Rockaways, all beneath us here. Far Rockaway, right back over here. Look, see, this is Nassau County. Nassau County, blotted out because it's not a part of New York City. I gotta get a laser pointer, K. Pepper L. Good to see you. I gotta get a laser pointer when I do this. Now look at this view here. We're looking from the east towards the west, Lower Manhattan, the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers right up there. Look at this. Look at how you could just go across the city and then boom, look at your Twin Towers right there. How great is that? Again, if you really want to get a good view of what it was like, the Twin Towers on our skyline of New York, this is the best way to see it. Off to the right-hand side, you got the Williamsburg Bridge, and close to the center of the screen, you have the Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges going from right to left. Of course, Hudson River towards the top of the screen, and the East River towards the bottom of the screen. And Quacky Snack with a €6 super chat. Quacky Snacks, thank you so much for the very generous €6 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's €6 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big €6 super chat. Quacky Snack, thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's or this evening's or this afternoon. I don't know what time it is. Live stream. Thank you so much. So it's kind of sad. Some of these terminal buildings do not exist anymore. This building right here is the Pan Am. And actually, let's zoom in closer here. The Pan Am terminal is still on the model. But what is around in real life is the TW Hotel. Beautiful building by Aaron Sarnoff. And that is that crescent-shaped building off to the right-hand side. JFK Airport, but some old school people might remember it as Idlewild. A lot of these terminals don't exist, and they're building new ones as we speak. A whole new JFK is beginning to come together. And you can see the JFK Airport part of the model. I don't know why it's so pitted. There's a lot of pits in the model right there. Very interesting. I wonder if that's because maybe so many people drop stuff from there. Yeah, I know Ariel covered the TWA Hotel. We did plane spotting one time in the TWA Hotel. But good to see everyone. Welcome. Now I'm going to show you my favorite part of the model, which is, of course, the little model, the little airplane here. Ooh, it's coming in for a landing. The little airplane coming into LaGuardia Airport. There it goes. There's a little wheel winch right there. It's a drone, yeah. Look at that, comes in for a landing. And then it comes right back out. My favorite part of the model. Kind of got lost in the light. It's getting dark again. We got it back at the night cycle here. Let's get high up. Let's get high up on the model now. Let's get high up on the model, then we'll come back around. So now, as you see, at the end of the helicopter ride, simulated helicopter ride, we end at the highest point on the route. We end up here at approximately 10,000 feet above the city of New York. And now we got to look down once again. Let's get into that 1x lens and zoom on in. Central Park, right there in the middle of the screen. And then nighttime beginning to come out with the moonlight right there. They filmed I think it was was it a Netflix movie they filmed in here? Or it was either Netflix or Hulu. So no, these are black lights. Yeah, these are, I wouldn't consider these UV lights. They're black lights. Black lights illuminate the fluorescent paint on some of the buildings here and the parks. The parks are also colored in fluorescence. But it is black light. Black light with a little bit of blue light to create moonlight. Now, what they used to do back in the day, they used to project the sun on the walls here to create a kind of like a sunset. And unfortunately, they don't do that anymore. But see, your little helicopter entered the model right here. You went all the way up and around, and then you came to right here, and then you exit the model right here. Again, it was a simulated helicopter ride. Here's a beautiful map that I would love to have in my house. I love these maps. I could stare at this map for hours. And of course, Staten Island. That's Staten Island way up there in New Jersey. Because where else are you going to fit it? And this map has probably been here since I was a kid. This map has been here for a very long time. Let's see if we got a date on it. 1992. 1992. So this map was definitely here when I was a kid. So again, this is the Queens Museum. So I want to consider this like a planetarium. The Queens Museum is I guess it's a modern contemporary art museum that features different types of exhibits. There's a very weird art exhibit from an artist here. I don't know what the hell they're trying to say, but it's kind of a weird exhibit. There's also an exhibit about the 1964-65 World's Fair right now, which is going to close in a couple of weeks. And then there's also the permanent Tiffany lamp, Tiffany glass exhibition that's here in the Queens Museum. That's a permanent collection. It's one of the best collections of Tiffany glass in the world. No, we're never in the right part of the maps, no. But this was built for the 1964-65 World's Fair. And this is never going to go away. This is permanent. And it's where all the money goes. Exactly, Cape Pepperell. Actually, the Queens Museum is mostly funded off of private donation. It's not a lot of city money, and more so. There's less federal money that go into the Queens Museum. This is mostly a privately, funded museum. So now we're directly over the Bronx. Bronx Park, right here. The New York Botanical Garden is this bottom part here, and then the northern part here is the Bronx Zoo. Pelham Parkway right here. Actually, the Tiffany Company donated all of the pieces to the museum a very long time ago. Because remember, the Tiffany glass factory used to be here in Queens. Pelham Bay Park, City Island. This is City Island right here. And then this is Orchard Beach right up here. Memzatobe, good to see ya. Okay, let's do one last fly around the whole model, and then we'll show you guys visible storage. We'll look at visible storage, and then they're playing films from the World's Fairs. So we'll see some of those films, at least a little piece of it, on the outside. You know, it's always fun, like, seeing people who've never seen this before. You really do feel like a kid when you come in here and see this for the first time. And you really get an idea of how different all the boroughs are. Like, here's the map of Queens. So you could see all your neighborhood names, Kennedy Airport. And then if we follow Howard Beach to the Conduit, and I want to say, let's see here. Yep. Right here, this is the hole right here. That's the hole. I actually saw somebody did some drone footage of the hole and recently. And there's a lot of new development going on in the hole. Now, let me show you it on the model. Because it does look like an area that's not developed at all. All right. So there's Howard Beach. There it is, right there. See that area where there's like literally nothing, just a couple of buildings? That's the hole right there. That's the infamous neighborhood on the Brooklyn-Queens border called the Hole. And then that green strip you see there, that's Linden Boulevard. Oh, sorry, not Linden Boulevard, the Conduit. The Conduit. Again, for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So it is very tiny. Yes, the Conduit is a roadway. North and South Conduit. And I want to say the Conduit, the right-of-way for the Conduit goes along an old, where they said, you know, where Brooklyn's water supply might have came along that right-of-way, I think, back in the day. The Conduit has a weird history. Coney Island, once again. Well, we're going to do the whole round of the model one more time before we go back around and see the model one last time. But again, you have these cool little screens here which show you where stuff is. It's fun that people are like, let's play with this maybe a little bit here. Let's play with this. Let's see what we could play with here. Let's see what we could find here. Walks in camera. It's a pretty cool. Yeah, yes, it does. It has a certain vibe. Look at how cool. When you get close up here, get a really good idea of the detail. Look at these are the panels. This is how they built the model. Look at that. 273 models, or 273 panels. Really close-up view of the bridges. Old black and white photo. There's the view of the old Twin Towers. This is so cool. Let's see, I think there's more to this, right? Yeah. And then we have some World's Fair. Look, this is the 3940 World's Fair. This is the 6465 World's Fair. Yeah, there's the guy, there's the man, there's Bobby Moses selling. So this was the conceptual model when they sold the World's Fair to prospective companies, states, and countries. This was how they kind of sold the lots. The amusement district was very ambitious on this model. But there's Bobby, there's Robert Moses right there. This is the 3940 fair. That's the Trilon and Perisphere. So where's where's the most southern tip? Are you talking about Staten Island? It's right here. Right here. Tottenville is way down there. There's Tottenville. Tottenville, you walk over Tottenville, literally. That's Tottenville. We're way down there. What else we got here? This is the 3940 fair. Wow. Trilon and Perisphere. This is the building we're in right here, the City of New York building. That's the building we're in the foreground. This is the entrance to the Futurama ride inside the Perisphere. 3940 fair. Look at this. This is the entrance to General Motors Futurama. Look at that train. Wow. And then this is how you viewed the Futurama. You're on a moving kind of platform there, and there were little models showing you the promise of the automobile and modern expressways. This is this is like Con Edison, right? This is Con Edison, right? Yeah, this is the consolidated Edison diorama on how energy and power was distributed around New York City. Look at this guy climbing the Empire State Building, and look at these two people climbing the Chrysler Building there. It's crazy. This is the 6465 fair from the sky. This is the Futurama. That's Futurama 2, right there. As we get closer, we saw that earlier. The Tent of Tomorrow. This is the New York State Pavilion off in the background. Another great view here. As we look across, the IBM exhibit is that egg right there. An incredible display. And oh, there's our Unisphere in all of its glory. There's the Unisphere in all of its glory right there. And the sunset looks like sunset. Look at that. Look at all that crowd. Now, when we got off the subway earlier, when we walked across the footbridge, this is the pathway we walked, was right here. And you see the Unisphere right there. So we walked this earlier today, where all those people are. Here's a great view of the Unisphere. We're right over here in the New York City building. Shea Stadium is off in the background. And then in the foreground, you have the massive square structure. That is the American Pavilion, celebrating all 50 states of the United States. Here's the incredible IBM Pavilion again. So the IBM Pavilion featured this 15-screen experience where the audience was lifted up into the theater. An engineering marvel in its own right. And then they did picture phones. So they showed you what a picture phone may look like. And you could call people, and a lot of people make believe that they were seeing their relatives on the other end. But this is the Bell System picture phone little kiosk there. See? Now we have these iPhones. It's crazy. This is Futurama 2. These little models here from Futurama 2. The underwater hotel. Building in the middle of the desert, and this is the moon base right here. It's the moon base. It's that little machine there exploring the moon. When you exited Futurama Ride, you entered, which is basically a car dealership. They showed you all these different little models here. And actually, no, this is the Ford Pavilion. Sorry, this is the Ford Pavilion. The Ford Pavilion, you traveled through time, through the Magic Skyway. When you exited that ride, you entered this room right here. This is the Ford Pavilion. This is the ride there. Oh my God, I just said the name and I completely forgot it now. Anyway, that's the Ford Pavilion right there. And then you can see the Space Park right up there. This is the Sinclair Dino Land. And then in the background, the U.S. Tire Ferris wheel, which is what didn't have good views from what I heard. This is the Vatican Pavilion right here. You can see a little bit of the Tent of Tomorrow right there on the bottom. And then the little Belgian village. The Belgian village that featured the cobblestones from the Pulaski Skyway. We have more. Good to see everybody. Welcome on in if you're just joining us. We're having fun playing with the iPads here at the Panorama. So this is the building we are in right now. This is during the 64-65 fair. Look at this. This is the original facing of the building. This whole section here has been opened up. After the 64-65 fair, this area here became an ice skating rink or a roller rink. And now this is part of the museum today. And is this guy here. This is Raymond Lester holding this is the George Washington Bridge. All the bridges are made out of cast iron. They're like cast iron little things, like little cars, like a Hot Wheels car. So they made out of cast iron. Then they made this is a model of where we're in. So this is a model of the scale model of the building, of just this side of the building, with the scale model of the Panorama. And then this is an artist rendering of what the exhibit would look like. I believe the viewing platform here in the top never came to fruition. Just the helicopter ramp. These are all the walls that are around us right now. And then these are the fire maps. The fire maps are what they use to create the model with. This is a layout of the model and all the different panels. Here are some workers creating, I think they're working on, this is Floyd Bennett Field they're working on right here. Dead Horse Bay, Flatbush Avenue, and then this is Floyd Bennett Field. You can see how crazy it was to construct the model. It was not easy. Over 300 people built the model. The meticulous detail. Most of the buildings were made out of like a balsa wood. Here are all the panels. Look at all these panels here. They found general shapes for most of the buildings here, so they kind of had a go-to for all the different shapes of buildings. And then look at, she's building a whole neighborhood. That must be so much fun. See, it's like meticulous, every single aspect. And then I love this. You got all the panels and all the panels coming together. As you see, they're thick. They're thick panels. You could get underneath this whole model here. It's pretty incredible. This is Madison Square Garden, Empire State Building. Here's a general, this is kind of a generalization of building shapes here in New York. The detail here is incredible. This is the Hellgate Bridge with the Triborough Bridge. Actually, not the Triborough. That's the other bridge, the RFK Bridge. RFK Triborough Bridge. So again, they carve the models out of wood, like a balsa wood, and the bridges are made out of kind of like a cast iron. The model at night when all the lights worked. I think they're going to try to reproduce this again. They're going to try to fix all the little lighting elements. And then this is the sign that brought you into the experience. And then here's a little lounge after you leave. And then here's a model of the World's Fair. And then look, this is the helicopter ride. That's what it looked like. And then here's the model as it was a helicopter ride. You see all the different things going around it. Here are the helicopters. That's how it looked like when you got into the helicopter. And then here you have the basically people flow. So the people come in on one side, exit out another side here. And then the model area is right here in the middle. So here's the second floor. And this basically told you more about the history of the city and individual things. Oh, so they did have a viewing area here, second floor viewing area. You even had, look at that, you have the little telescopes there. So they did build the second floor viewing area. That's cool. Yeah, I learned something new today. Yeah, how cool is that? Well, welcome to the Queens Museum here in Queens. This is the world's largest architectural scale model, the Panorama of New York City. And that's Tottenville, Staten Island, the southernmost point of the entire state of New York. Let's look at Manhattan. Look at that. Looking all the way up. So now I think it's kind of empty up there. So let's quickly show you guys visible storage. They have a couple of really cool things now on display in visible storage that they did not have literally, what was it, a month ago when I came here last. So we have some new things to show in visible storage. So let's fly away from New York City. This is like an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, it is. I just get a kick out of the fact, Rich, that I traveled on the model. I traveled from here all the way through Manhattan to here. It took me 2 hours. And I'm going to do it again going home. Now, visible storage is great because they're always adding and taking away stuff from here. So if you come here a few times out of the year, you're going to see new stuff all the time. Look at these guys. I think what's really cool here, I've never seen this here. Ooh, look at these guys. Ooh, this is from the Chinese pavilion. Look at that. Ooh, they're very interesting. Wow. The cups are from the Hong Kong pavilion. We got a little plastic statue of the Michelangelo's Pietà. Look at that. But then look at this. A doll from It's a Small World. Look at that. That is freaking cool. I love this World's Fair doll here. Really does capture the moment of the 60s there. And then we have a full collection of the mold, of the plastic. This is from the Mold-orama in the Sinclair Dinoland exhibit. And for like a nickel, you get yourself a little plastic dinosaur. These are the full collection of them. An awesome model of the U.S. Tire Ferris wheel. And then we have models of the different pavilions. This is the Futurama model. And then this is the Ford Magic Skyway model, Ford Pavilion. And then the Trip to the Moon Pavilion right there. And then look at this. You want to see? I'm kind of amazed I even have some of this stuff. So I have, thanks to Coney Island Jim, I have the smaller salt and pepper shakers. I have those smaller salt and pepper shakers with the original little serving plate on them. So I have those. And then look, I have this brown Unisphere right here. I got this from the sale at the Blue Bloods TV show when they were selling off all the props. I got that. That's from the Japanese pavilion. How crazy is that? Got some great serving plates here, some beautiful signage. And then over here, these are some relics from the 1939, 1940 World's Fair. Some of this stuff is just so cool. I love the little ashtrays. A souvenir thermometer. That orange thermometer back there. Yes, they did, Gabby. They did film a documentary here. And then what's really cool, probably the coolest thing here, these are little models from the Futurama right here. These are little cars and little people. And then when you exited the Futurama, you came into a big multi-leveled intersection. And this is a model of that multi-leveled intersection. Now, the model of the fair from 64, 65 is in an area where I cannot film right now. But it's probably going to come back when the exhibit closes. I heard about that, Tom. Yeah, I heard about that. So now I'll show you one more thing. Look, they're at the fair. Oh, look, we walked down that today. Look, we were there today. We walked that pathway right there. This is an excerpt from the movie To the Fair, produced for the second year of the 1964-65 World's Fair. These two guys are going to chase these girls around. All right, guys. I think it's time. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. Let's do the big thank you while we watch the fair here. You can see this whole thing in its entirety, in color, here on YouTube, okay? So if you want to see it, it's called To the Fair. Basically a commercial for the second year of the fair. But I want to thank Quacky Snack with a big €6 super chat. I want to thank Jack of Majors Minis with a big $4 super chat. I want to thank Marianne Rose with a big $5 super chat. I want to thank Natalie Grazilia with a big $2 super chat. Much, much, much appreciated for all your continued support, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And make sure we didn't miss any PayPals. And yes, thank you guys so much. That's what replay is for, everybody. This has been a really interesting live stream, and I hope you found it interesting and fun. And you know, let's quickly, I'm gonna try to sneak this one. Gotta try to sneak this. Because look what they're playing here. This is the outside of the Panorama. And look, they're playing old films. These are some old home movies from the 64-65 fair. And I'm just projecting them onto the side here. I wish I had sound, but they probably don't have sound. Guys, did you enjoy this nonsense? If you did, make sure to subscribe to the Dutch Moz Family Networks here on YouTube and on Instagram, all same name, at Dutch Moz. Make sure you hit the notification bell, because I never know when I'm going to go live next. But from the Queens Museum here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, this is Dutch Moz signing off. Have a fabulous Queen's Day, whether you can afford to live here or not. Hug your loved ones and cherish those beautiful moments. And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.